Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Hypixel Skyblock video. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks on the Rift Island of just useful things that I feel like some people know, but a lot of things that people aren't taking quite as much advantage of. So the first suggestion I have is to maximize your Rift time in each area when you get to a new place. Now this means like getting new Enigma souls, like trying to get as much armor and accessories that you can, because the more Rift time you have, essentially the easier it is and more convenient to be grinding in an area and not have to like keep going back there, and also you don't have to waste as much time because the Rift infusions can be super expensive to buy. Speaking of which, if you just bought a Rift infusion and you haven't left the Wizard Tower yet, and you haven't like gone to like lose any time, you can actually go back to the like hub or like any other place, and your Rift infusion stays as long as you didn't leave and lose any time. So you can go back in and you can check like, hey, does this lobby have Bacte, anyone, or ask that, and then if no one says that they do it, you can leave and try to find a different lobby with no extra cost. Keep in mind that my time isn't actually going down when I'm in the Wizard Tower, so you can like sort your inventory and storage, you can craft all sorts of stuff, and this is the best way to do it so you're not wasting those precious seconds. Another important thing with the time is to take advantage of the eye warps. These eyes are really useful to travel to new areas because for me to get all the way to the ending area where the Vampire Slayer is, it only costs 22 minutes and 35 seconds. So let's say let's say that would bring me down to 32 minutes. If I were to travel and go there, the costs alone of entering all these new areas would eat down way more time than it would normally to just teleport over there. And it's also instant, so you don't have to waste this time anyway. See, I've already wasted, what, like 15 minutes? And this is me taking, like, near optimal pathing, too. Let's go to you, go to you. Oh shoot, I need the flying boat in my inventory. See, look at that. I get here with essentially lost 3 minutes, and also it's just faster to travel instantly there anyway. So one thing that's very important when you're on this island is to make sure you're taking advantage of the effigies, or effigies, effigies, whatever the frick you call them, these things. Essentially, in order to do it, you just break the 3 redstone blocks in descending order, and here's my route. So I spawn right there when I get to the prince, and I break this effigy, and then I go up here. Gonna use my howl so I can walk a little faster. Then I go up to this effigy, I click this one. Sometimes they're already there, so you can just click them to reset the timer on them to get the 20 minutes. And that's usually enough for your entire visit. Then I travel over here, I break this effigy, and then I go back up the stairs so I can make it to this one up here. And then after I climb up these stairs to break this effigy, I will jump down to go to this one. Now, since I have my Aspect of the Leech transmission tunered, by crafting it with 2 transmission tuners, you get an extra block, and I also have enough mana for 3 warps. That's super easy, but I have been able to manage it with 3 warps without the upgraded one, and even 2 with an upgraded Aspect of the Leech. And then you get this last one over here, and then you can start grinding your Slayers, and it gives plus 12 Rift damage, which is a lot. See, now another trick with the Vampire Slayer is when it's in the Mania phase, you see, it's kind of getting low. Its very last Mania actually doesn't hurt you, so you can run straight up to the Vampire, or the, whatever the frick it's called, the Blood Fiend or whatever, and you can just get ready to kill it, because that last hit on Mania actually doesn't deal any damage. So the last thing I want to talk about is the best ways to get motes, because some of the Shen auction items can be worth millions of motes, and you know, it's very hard to grind that much out. Now, a couple of the easiest ways that I've found is just in the very beginning of the Rift, when you just start, killing Shies is super easy because it gives 100 motes per Shy, plus additional motes per like each accessory you get. Like some will give you like plus a couple motes for each melee kill or melee hit, depending on what it is. And then essentially, once you get to the mid game, you're gonna start wanting to do the mini bosses like Bacte, which will give 8,000 motes, and then Leech Supreme, which gives 3,000 plus whatever all the mobs you kill in the Leech Swarm phase give about 100 motes each, unless it's the Leech alpha or whatever, which gives 125, I believe, and that gives you a bunch of modes, and it's much faster to kill than Bacte. Bacte you mostly do just for the Bacte frags to craft into blood badges. And then once you get towards the end, you're going to obviously want to be doing Vampire Slayer if you want to make some money alongside of it. But if you're going purely for modes, then you can actually loot share by getting a couple hits on these mobs and then letting someone else get the kill, because if they're actually doing Vampire Slayer, then they need the combat XP and not you. And you can get not have to waste like the 6,500 modes per tier 4, or even like 10k if you're doing the tier 5s. So, you know, it's just an easier way to grind up the motes, and then you sell all the melons that you get for a bunch of motes, because these things are good. Okay, get away. These things are pretty good. And then, you know, obviously as you're going around, you're going to want to collect these things. I unfortunately only have one burger. If you get all 5 of the burgers, then you get, I think, 225 per collected when you collect. But unfortunately, I'm not that RNG carried. So, yeah, I think that's just about all I have for this video. Hopefully you learned something new. You're going to start incorporating it into your Rift adventures to just do, you know, a little better. And I'll see you guys in next time. Bye.